August 1996. A secluded beach in the south of France. Princess Diana lay on a yacht in a bikini, relaxed, unguarded, vulnerable. Suddenly, a photographer appeared on a nearby boat. Long lens, professional equipment. Click, click, click. Diana sat up, startled. Then something strange happened. She didn't cover up, didn't run. She adjusted her position, turned toward the camera, smiled slightly, and let him shoot. For 15 minutes, the photos would appear in newspapers worldwide. Diana's secret vacation, princess in paradise, worth hundreds of thousands of pounds. But here's what the world didn't know. Diana had arranged the entire thing, had called the photographer herself, had posed deliberately, had profited from the photos she pretended to hate. This is the story nobody tells. The times Diana hired the paparazzi and used them to control her own narrative. To understand why Diana hired paparazzi, you need to understand the game she was playing. The royal family controlled traditional media, had relationships with editors, could kill stories, could shape coverage. Diana had no official power, no palace press office, no way to fight back through conventional channels. So she went underground. She learned to use the paparazzi, the very people she claimed to hate, the very people who chased her. Because Diana realized something crucial. If you can't beat them, hire them. And Diana became very good at hiring them. It started small. Early 1990s, Diana would tip off photographers about her location. A restaurant, a gym, a shop. Nothing scandalous. Just photo opportunities that made her look good, active, healthy, normal. The photographers got their shots. Diana got positive coverage. Everyone won. The palace never suspected. Why would they? Diana was always complaining about paparazzi, always playing the victim, the perfect cover for strategic collaboration. But Diana got more sophisticated. She started working with specific photographers, ones she could trust. Who would take the photos she wanted, frame them the right way, sell them to the right publications? Diana would call them directly, from payphones, untraceable. I'll be at this location at this time, alone. Make sure you get good shots. The photographers were shocked at first. Princess Diana calling them? The enemy calling for collaboration? But they quickly understood. This was business, mutually beneficial business, and the money was excellent. One photographer, who requested anonymity, described the arrangement. Diana would call maybe once a month. She'd give me details, where she'd be, what she'd be wearing, what story she wanted told. Sometimes it was looking sad and alone to generate sympathy. Sometimes it was happy and thriving to show she'd moved on from Charles. She was directing her own coverage, using us as her camera crew. And we were happy to help, because Diana photos always sold, for a lot of money. And she got a cut. The money is the shocking part. Diana didn't just arrange photos, she profited from them. The photographers would sell the images, then give Diana a percentage. Cash, untraceable, deposited in accounts the palace didn't know about. Diana was being paid for her own paparazzi photos, the very photos she publicly claimed violated her privacy. The hypocrisy was stunning, but also brilliant. Diana had found a way to monetize her fame. Outside royal control, outside palace oversight, completely secretly. The most famous example was the gym photos. 1993, Diana leaving a gym in Chelsea, wearing exercise clothes, looking fit and determined. The photos were everywhere. Diana's fitness regime. Princess gets tough. They showed Diana as strong, capable, moving forward. Excellent PR. But they weren't spontaneous. Diana had arranged them, had called the photographer, had even chosen her outfit for maximum effect. The tight clothes showed her figure. The determined expression showed her resolve. Every detail was calculated. And the photos did exactly what Diana wanted. Made her look good, made Charles look bad by comparison, and earned her money. But Diana's paparazzi collaboration went beyond photo ops. She used photographers to send messages to Charles, to Camilla, to the palace. When Diana wanted to make Charles jealous, she'd arrange photos with attractive men. At restaurants, at events, always carefully positioned, always perfectly framed. The message clear. Diana was desirable. Moving on. Not sitting home crying. Charles would see the photos, Camilla would see them, the palace would see them, and they'd know. Diana was fighting back, and she was winning. The most elaborate scheme involved Diana's boyfriends, James Hewitt, Will Carling, Hasnat Khan, each relationship carefully documented. By photographers Diana trusted, Diana would call them. "I'm having dinner at this restaurant tonight, with someone special. Make sure you get the photos." The photographers would position themselves, get the shots, sell them worldwide. Diana would get her cut, and the coverage she wanted. Proof she was loved, wanted, desirable. The palace could take away her title, but they couldn't take away her marketability. But here's where it gets dark. Diana wasn't just using paparazzi for positive coverage. She was using them to destroy her enemies. When Diana wanted to hurt someone, she'd arrange damaging photos or tip off photographers to compromising situations. Diana knew where Camilla would be when Charles was meeting her. Diana would call photographers. "Be at this location. You'll get something good." And they would. Photos of Charles and Camilla together. Proof of the affair. Diana weaponized the paparazzi, turned them into her army, and they were happy to serve. Because the photos sold. For fortunes. The palace began to suspect. The photos were too convenient, too well-timed, too perfectly framed. They started investigating, trying to find the leak, never suspecting it was Diana herself. The victim was the perpetrator, the hunted was the hunter. Diana was playing everyone, and doing it brilliantly. She'd learned from the best, from the palace, from Charles, from the media manipulation she'd endured for years. Now she was using those same tactics, better than anyone else. But the collaboration had rules. Diana was very specific about what could be photographed and what couldn't. No photos of William and Harry without permission, no photos inside her home, no photos of sensitive moments. The photographers respected these boundaries because they knew. Betray Diana's trust, and the arrangement ends. And this arrangement was too profitable to risk. Diana was generating millions in photo sales. The photographers wanted to keep her happy, keep her cooperating, keep the money flowing. One photographer described a typical call. Diana would phone, always from a payphone. She'd say, "Tomorrow at 2 p.m, I'll be outside Harrods. Wear something nice. Get shots of me shopping, looking happy. Send them to these 3 publications." She'd give me a list. Specific newspapers, specific magazines. She knew which outlets would give her the coverage she wanted, and which would pay the most. Diana was running her own PR operation, and we were her employees, paid handsomely, for creating the narrative she wanted. The divorce changed everything. Diana lost her HRH title, her official protection, her palace support. But she gained something. Freedom. Freedom to work with paparazzi openly. Well, not openly, but more aggressively. Diana increased the frequency of arranged photos, increased her cut of the profits, used the money to fund her lifestyle, her charity work, her independence. The palace had cut her off financially in many ways, so Diana created her own income stream through the paparazzi. The irony was delicious. But Diana's paparazzi collaboration created a monster. The photographers she didn't hire got more aggressive, more dangerous. Trying to get the candid shots Diana wasn't selling, trying to capture what Diana didn't want shown. The arranged photos made all paparazzi more valuable. Diana had inadvertently increased demand for photos of herself, made herself more hunted, more chased, more valuable. She'd tried to control the narrative. Instead, she'd made herself the most photographed woman on Earth. And some of those photographers weren't playing by her rules. The summer of 1997 was the peak. Diana, on Mohammed's yacht with Dodi, the famous leopard print swimsuit photo. There's debate about whether Diana arranged it. Some say yes, that Diana called photographers, told them where she'd be, wanted the world to see her happy with Dodi, wanted to make Hasnat Khan jealous. Others say no, that the photos were invasive, unwanted. The truth probably lies in between. Some photos Diana arranged, others she didn't. But she'd created a market so valuable that every photographer wanted Diana shots, whether she cooperated or not. The night Diana died, she was being chased by paparazzi, 7 motorcycles, professional photographers. Some Diana knew, some she'd worked with before. Were they chasing her? Or were they expecting her to stop, to pose, to cooperate like she had so many times before? We'll never know. But the lines between arranged photos and harassment had blurred. Diana had trained photographers to chase her, to follow her everywhere, because sometimes she wanted them there. Sometimes she'd call them, sometimes she'd profit. But that night in Paris, they wouldn't stop, couldn't stop, because the arrangement had created expectations, habits, a culture where Diana was always fair game, because sometimes she was, literally, for sale, to the highest bidder. After Diana's death, the truth started emerging. Photographers admitting they'd worked with her, that she'd arranged photos, that she'd profited. The revelations shocked the public. Diana had claimed to hate paparazzi, had complained constantly about invasion of privacy, but she'd been hiring them, using them, profiting from them. The hypocrisy was stunning, but also understandable. Diana had no power, no official platform, no way to fight the palace, so she used the tools available, the paparazzi, the media, her own image. She turned her victimhood into power, her persecution into profit. Was it ethical? Debatable. Was it effective? Absolutely. Prince William discovered the truth years after his mother's death. He was furious. Not at the paparazzi, at Diana, for putting herself in danger, for creating the culture that killed her, for being complicit in her own harassment. William understood why she did it, understood the pressure, the desperation, the lack of options. But he wished she'd found another way, a safer way, a way that didn't involve making deals with the people who ultimately chased her to death. Harry had a different reaction. He understood completely, saw the genius in Diana's strategy, wished she'd been able to perfect it, to maintain control. Harry has used similar tactics himself, calling photographers he trusts, arranging photos that serve his narrative. He learned from his mother, both the successes and the failures. Harry knows the paparazzi can be tools, or weapons, depending on who's wielding them. Diana taught him that, even if she paid the ultimate price for the lesson. The photographers who worked with Diana have mixed feelings. Some are proud. They helped Diana tell her story, gave her control when she had none, made her money when the palace tried to impoverish her. Others feel guilty. Wonder if their collaboration created the culture that killed her. If Diana hadn't hired some photographers, would all photographers have been less aggressive? Would the chase in Paris have happened? The guilt haunts them, even decades later. Even knowing Diana made the choice, knowing she called them, knowing she wanted it, the guilt remains. The media has never fully acknowledged this story because it complicates the narrative. Diana as pure victim is simpler, more sympathetic, more marketable. Diana as media manipulator is complex, morally ambiguous, harder to sell. So most documentaries ignore it. Most biographies minimize it. Most coverage pretends Diana never hired paparazzi, never arranged photos, never profited from the invasion she claimed to hate. But the truth is there. in photographer testimonies, in financial records, in the photos themselves. Diana wasn't just hunted, she was hunting, using the media as skillfully as the media used her. The ultimate irony is that Diana's strategy worked. She controlled her narrative more effectively than any royal before or since. She turned public opinion against Charles, against the palace. She made herself the people's princess through careful media manipulation, through strategic photo opportunities, through collaboration with the very people she publicly condemned. Diana won the PR war, decisively, permanently. Yes, it cost her privacy, cost her safety, ultimately cost her life. But she won, changed the monarchy forever, changed how royals interact with media, changed everything through her willingness to break rules, to be hypocritical, to hire the enemy, to profit from her own persecution. Today, Kate Middleton has learned from Diana's mistakes. Kate never hires paparazzi, never arranges photos secretly. Everything is official, controlled through palace channels. Kate has the institutional support Diana never had, the protection, the resources. She doesn't need to hire photographers. The system works for her. Unlike Diana, for whom the system was the enemy, Kate's approach is safer, more sustainable, but also less revolutionary, less transformative. Diana changed everything by breaking all the rules. Kate maintains everything by following them. Both strategies work, but only one changed history. From a photographer who worked with Diana, speaking anonymously in 2010, people ask if I feel guilty about taking Diana's money, about the photos, about that night in Paris. And the answer is complicated. Diana knew what she was doing. She was brilliant at it. She'd call me and say exactly what she wanted, how to frame it, where to sell it, how much to charge. She was running a business, using her image as product. I was just the camera, just the middleman. But did our arrangement create expectations? Make other photographers more aggressive? Contribute to the chase that killed her? Maybe. Probably. And I live with that. Every day. But I also remember that Diana chose this, called me, hired me, profited from it. She wasn't a victim in our arrangement. She was the boss. And she was very good at it, until the night she wasn't. The night the chase went too far. The night the arrangement turned fatal. I think about that night constantly, wonder if I'm responsible, if we all are. The photographers she hired, and the ones she didn't. We created the culture, she created the demand, and together we created the tragedy. That's the truth. And it's complicated, and ugly, and sad, but it's the truth. The final image of Diana's paparazzi collaboration is a phone booth. One Diana used regularly to call photographers. Untraceable, anonymous, safe. Diana would stand in this booth. Dial numbers she'd memorized, arrange tomorrow's narrative, plan next week's photos, control the story in the only way she could, through secret calls, secret deals, secret profits. The booth still stands, in London, unremarkable, unknown. But it was Diana's command centre, her rebellion headquarters, her weapon against the system. From this booth, Diana fought back, won battles, controlled narratives, made money, made history, and ultimately made the mistake of thinking she could control something inherently uncontrollable. The media, the paparazzi, the hunger for Diana photos. She fed that hunger, profited from it, but couldn't stop it. Even when she wanted to, even when she needed to, even when her life depended on it. The phone booth stands, empty now, silent. But once it held Diana's voice, making deals with the devil, fighting fire with fire, trying to survive, by any means necessary, even means that would ultimately destroy her.